Yo, first things first, big shout out to Micah for booking all these shows and getting us on the show. I'm sure some of you guys are involved with the local scene here, the local hardcore scene, and for those who are not, understand there's a collective of kids and people in Hawaii that make this type of shit happen.
Hey, real quick, we just want to give a special shout out to our friend Micah. He was on the first tour we ever fucking did in the States. And we couldn't really be here. And it wasn't him, so thank you, bro. We love you, bro.
My name is Micah McDermott, and I book shows here in Hawaii and run a website called Hawai'iHardcore.net. I started kind of getting involved early on in high school. I think I was like a freshman. I started offering different local band designs to use for like flyers and t-shirts and stuff. I started going to all kinds of different shows when I was younger. I was really into like pop punk, really into punk. I was kind of into everything. You know, you hear just all kinds of music when you're first starting to get into music and you want to see and experience it all. I saw a good amount of hardcore bands, but I heard this one band from here, they're called Die Slow. After I saw them, I remember the cogs kind of turning and starting to feel like really interested in, you know, hearing anything that sounded like them. It's hard to pinpoint, oh, this is what a hardcore band should sound like. People will say it's a sound, and some people will say like it's an idea. Some people will say it's both. You could say that a band who puts a lot of passion and soul and really cares about their values is a hardcore band. You know, with hardcore punk, it's derived from like being what punk was originally intended to be. I think Hawaii, it's a really complex scene. It's really special. How can we build like a stronger like community of people? The scene has both like changed and not changed at the same time. There's people who have come and gone. It makes it hard to sustain any kind of like attendance or, you know, draw.
I think Micah currently is doing the most for the scene.
I just seen the flyer for Suicidal Tendencies, and then we chatted, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna try, I seen they're bringing down Suicidal Tendencies, I'm gonna try bringing down Rotting Out.
And the last time Rotting Out was here, you know, Rotting Out, they came out back in 2013. Rotting Out expressed interest in coming back again because for the first time, at least in a while, a band like Rotting Out is able to play this larger venue here in front of a good deal of people who wouldn't have known or had any idea about them otherwise. So the process for this flyer was, I was basically going for like a more commercial kind of look. The first night, they're with this band, Suicidal Tendencies. It has a little bit of a different crowd. I wanted a flyer to look a little more polished or something that was really eye-catching and more mainstream as opposed to like a real DIY cut and paste flyer that was Xeroxed in a bunch. I knew I wanted this kind of text because they're playing with Suicidal Tendencies, and this is subtly similar to their logo, and it's got this real kind of SoCal flair to it. Not only does that direct them to their show, but it also directs them to the hardcore scene on a local level in general, and it starts at a local level. You can't have bands coming from the mainland all the time if you don't have a solid local fan base. I think there's a lot of things that contribute to this community aspect to hardcore. There's this unifying, inclusive vibe that comes with, you know, the genre and the scene.
What? Happy birthday to you. What? Happy birthday, dear Kaliko. What? Happy birthday to
you. How can we make people feel more welcome? How can, you know, and some of it's just as simple as like, hey, go up and like, say hi to, you know, this younger person who isn't talking to anybody, who you've never seen before. It's got a community like no other. And even just like on a kind of a surface level, what music makes you want to like jump off a 12-foot speaker headfirst into the concrete, you know? Hardcore has done a lot for me in all kinds of different ways. There's something to be said about the impact it has on people. It taught me to think for myself. I've made memories that I'll never forget and have done things like I literally had no idea I would ever do. I've toured the world with like bands who like I've respected and loved since I was a teenager, and so that in itself is, if I do nothing else, that's been fulfilling and cool for me. That can come from this. This music is life-changing.